Hey, joiners. So it is official. The Good Morning Guys podcast is officially on Patreon. For those who may not know, Patreon is a monthly online subscription platform that allows you to financially support content creators like us. Now, I know what you're thinking, and don't worry, all our content is staying free, FREE. But if you like what you hear, like what you see, and like what we do, and want to toss a coin to our podcast, head on over to patreon.com/the GMG pod today. That's patreon.com/the GMG pod. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode 137 of the Good Morning Guys podcast, thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I'm one of your four hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge of the jury and the executioner of fake news and squinting, Patrick Novacell.
Is it really 137?
Yep.
Man, I thought it was 136 this week.
You were taking a nap during 136. So
I was not here. I must have not been here for 136.
I guess not.
Oops.
Oopsie. On his left and my right, the volleyball and beast of the East who can make you laugh in 3 words or less or your money back, Ronnie Johantis.
Hi.
Hi. And then the final member of the GMG Quadfecta, who's got music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, and La Coretta in his old stomago, Marc Boucher.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bueno, meu amigo.
Did they not say bien too?
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Very, very good. Bien.
Bieni too, yeah. That's good.
Bien?
I thought maybe you'd start going into some French.
I thought you were correcting me. Like,
nope.
No, it's bueno. You are wrong, sir.
You know what? I had the same thing happen to me when I first moved to Brazil, and they have a greeting where they say tudo bom, and I would say it to someone else, be like tudo bom, and they would say tudo bem, and I was like tudo bem, and then other people would say tudo bom, and I was like, okay, which one is it? And it's just like well and good, like you just pick which one. One of them is grammatically correct, but really it doesn't. Nobody cares.
That's just bad to the bone.
Yeah, that's bad to the bone. That's a good one. But all right, guys, here we are, the four of us back together. I missed you, Ronnie and Patrick.
It's good to be back.
I'm glad you're back.
It is good to be back.
Mm-hmm. Since it's so good to be back, I think you guys should start us with your updates of what's been going on. Why don't we start with Ronnie? How goes it, my friend?
All right. It goes well. I honestly, like, for having a 2-week update, like I look back at the 2 weeks of my life and realize that I probably wasted them doing nothing. First thing was beginning of the year, like classic lawnmower doesn't start. Like it's just, like everybody's been there, the lawnmower, like it's been sitting for the whole winter and then you go to fire it up and nothing happens. And I've gotten to the point where like, I don't know, even like up to a couple years ago, I'd be like just taking pieces off of it, like trying to figure out what's actually wrong with it and stuff like that. I'm past that, I can proudly say. That's never happening anymore. Like I just took it to somebody to fix it. Like I'm just waiting on a call to know how much money I owe to have a working lawnmower again.
How many years from now till you just go and buy a new one?
Probably next year.
Every season you buy a new one.
The funny thing
is
throw
it away. All right, season's over.
So two years ago, I actually bought a new, and this is just a push mower. And the reason I bought a new push mower is because my one from the year before that I had bought just stopped working. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go get another one. Like, forget this. So I've had 2 lawnmowers this whole time. And the original one that I had is definitely the best one. It's like one of the like self-propelled ones, so
Ooh,
like you don't even have to, you just have to walk behind it pretty much. And that's the one I'm finally getting fixed. The other one, it was the one that I bought to replace it. And so I'll probably just have them fix both of them. And then I have 2 lawnmowers. And I'm sure when I need the other one, it won't start because that's part of life. Like that's just the
At
way.
least you have a backup.
That's just the way it goes. Yeah, the backup's always awesome to have until the backup doesn't work, which is
True.
always the case.
Yeah, but those self-propelled ones are amazing when it's
Oh,
like
man.
95
much
degrees
better.
out. Like, I'm already sweating out here. I don't want to push anything.
Yeah, they're way better. And I have like a hill on the side of my house. It's like fairly steep. So to have that and just be able to walk behind it instead of having to push a mower up and down it is pretty nice.
I remember the first time I used a self-propelled. My dad didn't tell me. He switched it out. Like we had an old one that wasn't self-propelled, and then he got a new one, and I was like, man, why is this thing so heavy? He didn't explain anything to me. I just started mowing
He
the
just
lawn,
pushed it the whole time.
and it was like pushing a tank. I was just like, oh my gosh, what's this so hard?
They're way harder to push.
Exactly.
You ever push those lawnmowers with like the circular like blade that doesn't have like a bag at the end of it? Like it's like one of those like from like the 50s. Have you ever pushed one of those before?
Oh yeah, like the ones that the manual, like there's no motor or anything.
There's no like how do those even work?
Oh, you mean the ones that have just the cylinder that like just spins and cuts?
Yeah,
I've never used one.
My brother has one. I'm like, how do you like? It's just like taking scissors, I guess, to your grass.
I don't know if it's quite like scissors. It's a little faster.
It's close. I mean, if you have to like sharpen those, otherwise it's just gonna be like pushing the grass just away.
How often do you have to sharpen them? Like every time?
I don't know.
It's got to be at least
got one row done.
Few uses.
Yeah, every row of yard. Like that sounds awful.
That does sound awful.
No, so I'll have a working lawnmower this week. That'll be nice. But that's really all I have on like the, adult front. Pretty much since then, not much. I did have my first little fire pit the other day, a couple days ago. It was weather was nice enough that we could have a little fire pit out on the deck. That was really nice. It's good to be back into that season.
There you go.
On the video game front, I started a new game.
Ooh.
Not really a new game. A game that I've played before in the past and beat. And that is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Nice.
All right.
It's the best one.
Yeah, I was actually just sitting there like kind of in between games, like wasn't sure what I was going to play. Sometimes you get at that crossroads where you don't have anything immediately planned after. So then you kind of explore and see what's going on. So I went and I just grabbed it out of my closet. Like I still have the disc for it actually. And started playing that. And I do love that game. Like it's just an open world pirate game. Like that's everything I've ever wanted in life, pretty much.
Did you sail around and listen to the guys sing?
It depends on what song they're singing. Some of the songs I stop them from singing. And some of them I'm like, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
So it depends. It depends if it's like the same crap that they sing all the time. Like I can't deal with it. But I actually think you can learn new songs at different towns, by the way.
Wait,
yeah, I've been playing that.
I think I'm that.
It's in each town. There's like a little like music note icon where you can go to, and I'm pretty sure you can learn new songs.
Huh? I don't think I ever did that.
How do you tell
I
them
didn't
to
either.
switch songs? Do you like yell at them? Like,
I don't think you can pick the song. You can just stop them from singing it.
Like you tell them to shut up, or
yeah, there's like a little command where it just says stop.
Singing.
It just says stop singing, and then you just sail quietly like you're in trouble,
awkwardly just staring at each other.
Like your parents just yelled at you.
That's how you,
the
that's
parents
how you
just
take 'em out.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this game is I did the same thing this time that I did last time I played through it the first time. And I always like, as soon as the storyline allows me like the freedom of the map, I immediately plunder. Like just I continue to plunder until my ship is like as maxed out as I can get it. So then I play the rest of the storyline with just like a massively overpowered ship, and none of those missions are hard at all.
Nice.
But I've also gotten to the point where Assassin's Creed, like, they're cool games and they're well done, but they do want you to do the whole assassin sneaking around thing, like almost on every mission, right?
Yeah.
Like try to do every one of these with no combat and all this stuff. Well,
that doesn't sound like your style.
It's not. It's a matter of fact, I go and I shoot the first guard at the gate, and I'm like, all right, bring everybody out. Let's do it right here.
Circle
like I'll
up,
take
boys.
20. I will take 20 guys in a row, so I don't have to sneak around. Like it's fine. So yeah, so that ends up being my strategy. The only problem are the guard tower guys with the guns, and they just use their buddies like as a human shield, and they just kill them off one at a time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm actually close to being done with the storyline. I think I'm only a couple missions away from the actual end of the game. But of course, I haven't been doing very many extras at all. Like I'm only diving if I have to dive or for an upgraded like plan for my ship. Like that's the only reason I'm going to do anything extra. But I don't know. Have you guys all played Black Flag?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Briefly.
Yes.
That's probably the one Assassin's Creed game I've played the least, sadly.
So there is like in this game, there's like, I think it's 3 different legendary ships that you can fight. That you can like go to them and start the fight like out in the middle of the ocean or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I went to, it says legendary ship. I went to the icon. It starts this whole scene, and it's these 2 massive ships. There's 2 of them. I forgot. I didn't remember that there was 2 ships. And they're each carrying like 10,000 gold each, which is kind of a lot. And they dominated me. Like, I think maybe I could have taken one of them, but it would have been close. So I had to run away from that fight. More recently, I tried another legendary ship, which had like 20,000 on it solely, and seemingly 3,000 guns on each side of it. I don't know how many it actually had, but like when you ended up in that spot, like it was bad. So I got dominated by that, and last night I finally took down my first legendary ship. I realized that my ship is faster, and I just basically stayed right behind him the whole time. And there was nothing he could do about it.
There you go.
You're never
Like
gonna
a-
catch me.
Like a gnat, just all over him. But yeah, so that's kind of my, in between, like I'm kind of in between games, so just killing time with it. But
Cool.
It's always really fun, man. Like the open world pirate idea, like I'll actually get into that later on this show. But that hasn't been done that often, really. Like the open world pirating, like I guess not as much as you would think with all like the pirate craze and movies and stuff like that. So I always thought that was a really cool concept. It's almost a Grand Theft Auto type, but out on the open water. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. My 2 weeks.
Nice.
Cool. Patrick,
Hi.
how about you, buddy? You also were missing last week.
It's good to be back, though.
It's good to be back.
I don't have too many updates. I went camping this past weekend with the family.
Your favorite.
Yeah, I went there to get unplugged from the world, and guess what they added to the campground? Wi-Fi. It's like, well, I guess I'm not too unplugged. But it wasn't like fast internet. It's like if you try to get on YouTube, you couldn't watch anything. It was more like to text, and that's about it. So we went to camping over the weekend, and then when we got back, I got my second COVID shot. So I am almost fully vaccinated. Apparently, it takes like 2 weeks to get to have the full effect.
Yeah.
So in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna finally be able to hold my nephews or my nephew. I've held my other nephew during this whole COVID, but I haven't held him yet, and I'm really excited to hold him.
Nice.
I've seen him through my brother's, front door, through the glass, and saying hi to him and things like that. But haven't been able to hold him, so I'm looking forward to that. On the gaming front, Marc and I have been playing this game called It Takes Two.
Yeah, I wanted to save this. I wasn't going to talk about this last week because you weren't there. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here now.
So Marc and I have had a couple of gaming sessions, and for those who don't know what It Takes Two is, it is a online co-op game only, or a local co-op. You cannot play the solo. It's not like a 4-player game. It's just 2 players, and it is like usually vertical split screen. And you are a mom and a dad who are getting a divorce, and their daughter has some sort of magical love book that turns these her two parents into pretty much the size of very small toys. And the goal of the game is to basically rekindle your relationship, get back to human form. But it is, when you're small, it's like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
Yeah.
kind of feel to it. The dialogue is hilarious. Now, Lucas, this was set from the same creator from A Way Out that we had played. So it's the same kind of humor, but it's like it is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of humor. There's times when you have to battle against squirrels who live in a tree that one has like an eye patch. They have like
they were mice.
They're military squirrels who are in a constant battle with wasps. So you have to, and this game it throws different things at you like every 20 minutes. There's a new gameplay mechanic. There's a one point when you get to your daughter's room and it's filled with like those ball pit balls, and the only way to get across the room is to like fly on top of bouncy balls and bounce your way to the next part. But to fly there, you have fidget spinners as your like propeller to get up and fly through the air. It's just really, really cool how they do that. And it's like I don't know, Mark, like it's so different every 20 minutes.
You know those I Spy books back in the day? Like those big picture books where you'd have to like, it was like a Where's Waldo type thing where you had to search for particular items, and it was like a whole bunch of items across a big picture book. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. That's what this game reminds me of, in how everything is set up, and you're trying to navigate these different areas with like puzzle type stuff. And it's hilarious. It's a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever wanted to burn a book in my entire life this bad. But I hate that character.
The love book is like a Mexican luchador book that is like a cross between
he's almost
Nacho Libre and it's like a wrestler. It's so odd, but he's very annoying, but it's just like a small comedic relief to the hilariousness that is already happening in this game.
Yeah.
It's like it's a long game. It's like a 16-hour game.
Yeah.
Mark and I played maybe 8 hours around there,
if that,
and we're about halfway through.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like this game just throws the gamut of things at you, and it's really, really fun. We haven't beaten it yet, but so far this game is a 9 out of 10. Yeah, maybe a 10 out of 10, depending on how the rest of the game goes. There was a point where, because this game throws different things at you all the time, there was one section that felt long.
Yeah.
But it was like we were doing the same thing for like an hour. So it's not like it's totally off the wall monotony.
Yeah.
It just the pacing felt a little different at that part. But yeah, that game is so much fun, and I can't wait to jump back into it.
Best part of that game, only one person has to own it.
Yes. So there's Very nice. That Friends Pass where the all Mark has to do is download the demo file or whatever from the PlayStation Store, and then he can play along with me. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I like how they do that. They did that with A Way Out, and I think that's a smart idea.
Probably.
Other than A Way Out.
Probably.
Was it did Little Big Planet or Sackboy, was that also one of them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm sure some other game has done that.
But it's good.
It's good.
Sweet.
Yeah, and that's about it for me.
Sweet deal.
Mark.
All right. How
about
My turn now?
Yeah, your turn, buddy.
Okay. Well, yeah, so some things happened this week for sure. Some good, some bad. Some a mix of good and bad. So the big thing that kind of happened this past week is, as many of you listening to the show know, or watching the show know, I am a part-time worship pastor at a church, and now I'm the worship and media specialist is now my new title, because I have been building a brand new website for us. for the church and updating our presence on social media and all sorts of things like that. So I've been working a lot on doing that lately. But a major event has happened at our church, to where our pastor, who has been our pastor for 24 years, has felt God calling him to lead to go elsewhere. He's basically going to be part of a overseas Bible translation team. It's a group called Unfolding Word, and he'll be on staff doing some like writing for them, like a writer, like doing some documentation, and things like that as part of their team. And so he's really feeling God calling him to go this way. He will be in India, so that'll be pretty crazy. But it was obviously very bittersweet, just because I went through a very, very rough time in my life, with being divorced and then coming back from that, healing from that, and I had to step down from my previous worship leading position because of that. And so he gave me a chance to come back into ministry. Obviously, the way things happened, I was able to come back into ministry, but he gave me a chance. My pastor did. He's always been a great shepherd and just a great friend and a great partner in ministry. Mm-hmm. And he married my wife and I. He was the officiant at our wedding. And so even in the short time that I've been there, obviously he's been a big part of my life. So it's definitely bittersweet to see him go, but I'm very excited to see what God's going to be doing through this new ministry that he's going to be a part of. So it's definitely a huge change for the church. Yeah, just be praying for us through that.
For sure.
Because I've never actually been through this process before, where I've never been at a church where the pastor is leaving, and
right.
They're having to start the process for looking for another pastor. And I was told that basically I may have some input in the process, so that'll be a new experience for me. So we'll see how it goes, but we're just trusting God throughout all of it. But just in the normal day-to-day stuff. So we were actually coming home from church the other day, and I don't remember what exactly started the conversation, but we mentioned something, and we talked about that scene from Terminator 2, where Arnold Schwarzenegger is his character. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Terminator 2. It's like a 30-year-old movie now.
You had your chance. You came back lots of times.
Yep.
What if someone is just turning the age of 17 right now? They're like, "Hey, I need to watch the Terminator movies."
Well,
they didn't have a chance.
Well, guess what? Right now, you do. If you have not seen it and you are going to see it,
pause,
go watch it, then come back. Okay?
Okay. You've been warned.
Okay, so at the end of the movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator character, he has to basically destroy himself in order to complete the process of, saving the world from the machines. And so in doing so, he has to lower himself down into this lava pit because they're in a steel mill or whatever.
I am so interested in how this relates to what you were doing.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
I've already forgotten what we're talking about.
It'll make sense. So the whole scene where he drops down, and when he's dropping into the molten pit, you see him put the thumbs up as it's going down. And I don't remember what started that, and I was like, oh yeah, we just played It Takes Two, and there's totally a boss that falls into a lava pit and does the same thing. And my wife's suddenly like, I haven't watched watched the Terminator movies. Let's go watch them. I'm like, okay,
all right.
Jump on that train.
So we watched T1 and T2.
Oh, no way! Nice.
In one day. Yeah. So Terminator.
Do they hold up?
The first Terminator, not near as much. It's okay still, but it's very much a product of its time. It's very 80s centric. Obviously, don't watch this around the kids. We kind of had to skip. There's
So Cisco didn't see some of the stuff.
Yeah, we had to cover his eyes.
Cover his eyes. Yep.
There was an intimate scene. Which I think that's the only Terminator movie that really has stuff like that. The rest of them don't. It's all mainly swearing and blood and gore. Yeah, that movie is on the holding up scale. But T2, man, that movie's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So good. But she very much enjoyed it. She was loving watching the movies. And she's like, well, what about T3? And I'm like, no. Just no.
That's when it stops.
You get to stop there.
T3. I don't know
he
what you're talking
sacrificed
about.
himself, and the machines never came.
Yep.
The end.
The end.
Yep. Yeah, although I kind of want to watch Dark Fate, the newest one, just because it's supposed to be a continuation of that or some sort of alternate timeline kind of thing.
Patrick's squinting, therefore it's not
Lucas is squinting, so therefore...
Okay.
If he's
that
squinting,
is correct. The double squint.
Are you like staring at the sun? What's going on?
Yep.
No, I'm confused at what's going on.
I am in the southern hemisphere. The sun is shining super bright right now.
Okay, so don't bother. All right. Cool. What's that?
So, speaking of don't bother, so I've watched the rest of the episodes that are currently out for the Mighty Ducks Game Changers Disney Plus series.
Oh no.
It is okay, but it is definitely geared towards kids.
Yeah.
There's like that nostalgia factor with Emilio Estevez, and that is it. The rest is it's kids. So I watched those, and I was like, you know what other Disney shows are there? There's this show called Big Shot, and it is with what's his name, Jesse Kasopoulos from Full
John
House.
Stamos?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
John
I saw that it was
Stamos
out there.
Yeah, he's like a Wisconsin college basketball coach who is like Bobby Knight. You know that really like infamous scene where Bobby Knight throws a chair? So John Stamos does the same thing.
Shaking our heads like people can see us shaking our heads.
But he hits a ref while he throws the chair. So he gets banned from college sports. So he ends up being a high school girls private school basketball coach. He's like just went no more college, just straight back to high school. I mean, it was okay so far. I think it was fun to watch with Claire. But
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sidebar, that was Disney Plus has some okay shows.
There you go. That's good. Paying good money for it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of the biggest things on the life front this week. Also I watched a documentary this evening. Y'all know how big of a fan I am and was, because obviously it's somewhat not in existence anymore, of Blockbuster Video. How much I was big into that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you free stuff. I'd be into it too if they just gave me free stuff all the time.
Yeah. So they put a documentary out about the very last Blockbuster in existence, which is in a small town in Oregon.
Yeah, Bend, Oregon.
Yeah. And now they actually have it set up to where you can have a slumber party at this Blockbuster. Yeah. Like they have it's like almost like a hotel room that you can book. And it's got I think it's got like a big old screen TV with like VHS or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but
Sounds horrible.
Sounds like a crappy
VHS on a
hotel.
big screen.
Maybe it's not quite all of that, but
You're skipping past some of the glory of this blockbuster. So I watched the same documentary.
yeah.
The manager to restock new movies, she goes to Target
Yep.
and buys movies at Target to stock the blockbuster shelves.
Yeah, she has to, because there's
Wow.
there's no distribution of it now. She's literally the last one in
I'm
existence.
just like, if you're looking to save a buck, Target's not the place to buy.
No,
the
go to
movies.
Redbox. Aren't there still some Redbox around you can get cheap movies from?
Yeah, but I think they don't have like the boxes, because that's one of the big
you
allure
can
from
print those.
blockbusters.
People
That
still
makes it even
Redbox
magical.
videos?
I don't know
they're still around.
Hmm.
Yeah.
if it's not on
Seems like a
Netflix
hassle.
or Disney Plus or any streaming service. I'm not worried about
Well,
it.
you got to think about it of where geographically where this blockbuster is. They have like very crappy internet. Where
It's
they're
in.
at.
Is really?
Yeah. It's
Really,
in,
Bend has crappy internet.
It's
Yeah.
in the United States though.
yeah,
It's
but
not in
It is
like,
pretty close to Canada. No
not in
offense,
like
Chris.
Antarctica,
Sorry.
West
Yeah, but-
Antarctica.
believe it or not, a lot of places around the U.S. There are a bunch of places that do not have good internet. Like they are not near where some of like the more concentrated areas. Yeah.
Well, man, what would you do all day without internet?
It's awful.
Throw rocks.
They have internet. It's just not good enough to do like streaming and stuff like that.
I've been in Brazil for the past 9 years. I've gone to the Amazon twice, and that week I went to the Amazon a full year. It felt like I was just like throwing
Sit
rocks
there with
at
your
fish.
thoughts.
They didn't
Talking to
put a
people about
put a
Jesus.
Wi-Fi antenna into the Amazon.
They should.
Cheapskates.
You see a
Not
monkey
yet.
carrying around a router.
Yeah, that's
I got
their
the hot
Wi-Fi.
spot. I got the hot spot.
He's just following along.
Yeah.
Password is monkey3.
No, it's throw poo now.
Wow. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the documentary. It's crazy to see how much they've kept it going. And
Cool.
obviously they tell the history of Blockbuster and why it went out of business and everything. And it was a little bit more than just Netflix. There's a bunch of other things that came into play in terms of their declaring bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff. And they were talking about the memorabilia that they ended up getting, because there was if you've heard of John Oliver, he does a late night talk show. Was it Last Week with John Oliver? I think that's what it was. He managed to get a hold of some memorabilia of Russell Crowe's when he did an auction after one of his divorces. He had a public auction for like memorabilia from his movies. One of them was like a jock strap from Gladiator. and
Lucas
is squinting again. Now I don't know what's going on, but I am
3
rubbing
squints in an
off on
episode.
him.
Mark, what are you doing? Why are you talking about jock straps on our show?
Well,
This is
An
for
auction.
kids.
Hey, honey, look what I won at the
I want a
auction.
jock strap.
I'm getting there. So
Please connect this
story
to
is not
T2
over
in
yet.
the lava
Hold on. Hold your squints.
with the jock strap.
let's keep your squints at about 80% at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
That's
like
the opposite
that's
way.
like
Is that too much?
120%. Zoomed in too close. No, so they got all this memorabilia. John Oliver and their show bought this from an auction and gave it to one of the last Blockbusters in Alaska.
Well, yeah, they didn't want it. They're like, we don't want this jockstrap.
Well, no, they put it up. Like they put it up in their store. Yeah, in like nice cases, and now it's in this last one after the one in Alaska, because they had like 3 in Alaska, and those all went out of business. So when those went out of business, they sent the memorabilia to the one in Oregon, and so they're displayed there.
Okay.
So it's like not just the jock strap, but also like
Is this a Grecian jock strap, or is this like
Yes.
something you'd buy to play baseball?
no
jock strap?
It's not like It's not like go over to Dick's and buy a
Whoa, where are you going?
Do you guys not have
Sporting
a Sporting
goods?
Oh, right.
Sporting
I've
goods.
been in Brazil for 9 years. We don't have that stuff.
Okay.
We make it all
Okay.
from leaves and
The grass you don't have.
and animal hair.
Lucas, where did you go?
Where did you go to get this job?
Yeah, common mix-up, obviously.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yikes.
So let's turn
There-
away from the skit. So
I believe the full name is Dick's Sporting Goods, not just Dick's.
Right.
Yes. It's
Just to be clear.
DicksSportingGoods.com.
.com.
Okay. So yeah, I loved the last Blockbuster documentary.
Yeah, that was a good one.
On the gaming front, mainly just It Takes Two with Pat and Apex with Pat and Justin. Kind of.
Is that a question? Sorry, Justin. Mark's forgotten you.
Justin?
I think his name is Justin.
I'm Ron Burgundy. But
Some guy.
no, he's not just some guy. But yeah, been playing with them. Kind of taking a break from streaming at the moment. Streaming games, just needed to take a bit of a break. So
Yeah.
Yep.
But it will be back. I'll be back. So
Perfect.
yes. But that's pretty much it for me, Lucas.
Sweet. So it's funny how you mentioned Justin with a question mark because earlier this week, this is going to be a little bit of a jog to get to the connection, but earlier this week, we were packing up. It's moving week. Yeah, woo! By the way, this time next week, I will be.
You're ruining movie day for us.
Yeah.
If you don't
Hold
say
it.
that at least once.
I was gonna. I'm saving it for Saturday. I know the kids are gonna whine about something or they're gonna break something, and I'm like, "You're ruining movie week." Yeah, I'll be ready. But in the moving process, we've been packing up stuff, and we've been uncovering, especially for my kids, toys and things that they haven't used in forever, and so that's become a major distraction, as you can imagine, because you get the stuff out to see, well, can we get rid of some of this stuff? Do we need to really pack all of it? And so one of the kids' toys is a stuffed animal dog that sings songs, and you can plug it into a computer and you can change the name of a kid. You can change like their favorite color, their favorite food, favorite animal, etc.
Is that like Scout or Violet or something like that?
It's Violet.
Okay.
So it's Violet the purple dog. We got it for Tasha before we came to Brazil. When we came to Brazil, we had James and we wanted to get him one, but I can't remember what happened. By the time we went to the US, like, I don't know, we couldn't find one or whatever. So we changed Violet's all her song to match James. And the thing that I had forgotten about, one, I've had that stupid song stuck in my head all week. It's ridiculous. I feel like a big idiot, but that's just, there's not.
They are some catchy tunes.
They are so catchy. But one of the things that's so funny about it is when it's singing to James, it's always with a question mark. So it's like, I'm hanging out with my friend James. And then it just keeps singing. And it's like, why is it a question? Why would someone record that and think that's okay?
That's the way that all the names are. It's like Clark or Claire. It's
Natasha. Yeah, it's been a really funny jog down memory lane. But overall, packing's been fine. I took the first like carload of boxes to the house on the way to run some other errands. And we'll be doing that every day. Wednesday and Saturday will be our big moving days. Wednesday, we're going to be moving just boxes. And then Saturday, we're going to move all the big stuff like refrigerator, washing machine, and all that jazz. The other fun things that happened this week is some of the merch that we had given out for my Extra Life stream a few weeks ago. Were reaching people, and one of the people it reached was Nick Huntress. And when he got it, he said, "I need to tell you a little funny story." And I'm like, "Okay." He said, I didn't tell my wife that your package was coming, and I forgot to tell her that your name was on it. So when I ordered his shirt or ordered his mug through TeePublic, it changed the name back from Nick Huntress to my name. And then it had already sent. I didn't know what to do, so I just told Nick, "Hey, it's going to be coming, but the package is going to come, but it's going to be with my name on it. And so he said, and I forgot to tell my wife, and he sent me a text. He sent me some photos of his wife posting on Facebook this message. Does anyone have any idea what this might be? It's a package with their address and my name. She says, or does anyone know who Lucas Swisher is? This is our address, but I have no idea who the intended recipient is. We've gotten plenty of mail from previous owners, but none of this name does not match any of them. And so people start commenting their socks. People ask them to Google about me or something. One lady's like, be careful. We had a renter once whose boyfriend was breaking into the apartment and he used the mail system to break in and like steal stuff. And then just a bunch of people writing stuff, to send it back. Yeah, it got like multiple people, multiple people were commenting on it. And, a lot of people suggested to send it back to sender. And I'm like, no. I don't think you want to do that. But finally, she updated everyone and said, my husband came home from work and mentioned, and I mentioned it. And then he ended up telling me that the package was accidentally written with the name of the sender and it came from Brazil and a pastor in Brazil and all this stuff. But yeah, they almost sent the mug back because they thought it could be a deadly package from a pastor in Brazil. So it was pretty funny.
You never know.
You really never know.
Be loaded with ricin or whatever they call that thing.
I love the idea of people just like Googling Lucas Swisher to find out if you're some criminal.
I wonder what does
the
happen.
Notorious Lucas Swisher.
Yeah, I don't know if I show up because most of my stuff has Lucas Ham Swisher.
Yeah, who is Lucas Swisher? That's just so weird.
Yeah, you should find out.
You're a general partner at Co2 Management.
Sweet. That's fun.
Lucas Swisher is part of one of the fastest growing companies in America.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's not even in America.
That's right. How do you like them apples? I'm faking it. But yeah, that was the only thing that's funny that happened last week. Something that's not funny that happened this past week is that the screen on my iPhone has glitched out to the point where probably, just a few minutes every day, the touchscreen actually works. And it does this flicker thing where there's like a bar, like bars come down from the top of the screen and it won't let the touchscreen work. And it's been like 3 or 4 days now. And I'll get these little windows of time to like use it real fast. And then it'll just glitch out.
Try to get everything in.
Yeah, just like, okay, I got to write these messages. And
actually I can run the whole day.
Yeah, I can run most of my information through my MacBook, but it's still like today I had to use Mindy's phone to run errands because I had to use Google Maps and different things to know where I was going and all that. And so Mindy had to sign into like WhatsApp through the web. And so I was pretty much writing her with her name. And then she was writing me with her name also in our chat. It was very confusing. It was just her talking to herself the whole time. It was kind of funny. But yeah, so I'm working on getting a replacement. I have a few options that may be coming from the US, but I still have a month and a half before my father-in-law arrives. So I got to figure out some kind of temporary solution. I haven't gotten there yet, but I'll get there. On top of that, we had a lightning storm the other day and our Apple TV will not turn on now after a lightning strike. And more heartbreaking, my PS3 won't stay on. It just starts up with the green light and then it just shuts down after like a second. So with the store shutting down because Sony's
that's not happening anymore.
Wait, what?
That's not happening anymore.
They reneged on it. Yeah. They're like, nope, just kidding. Everything's going to be back up. Yep.
Sweet. That is good news to hear.
Even I knew that.
No, even I knew that.
I'm just kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nice try, buddy. Yeah, I was actually, and that's what made it hurt more because I was like, oh no, by the time I actually can replace my PS3, the store will be gone forever. And who knows how difficult it'll be to access. Like I think most of us, no, not most of us. I know for sure Patrick, I don't think Marc, but Patrick remembers, I think on the PS3, how hard it was to use the download list. and like to scroll through. Did you ever do that?
It's awful.
It's awful. It's like scroll down and then wait for the icons to load so you know what it is. Yeah.
It's not the way it is today.
No.
You just had a lightning storm that just knocked out everything you own, pretty much.
No, it only knocked out the Apple TV and the PS3. And then the iPhone was separate.
So only the things that you care about.
Well, no, the PS4 is still alive and the TV.
That's
So,
good.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair. This is the old stuff. I guess the old stuff's not made like it used to be. Or
Did
wait,
you have like
old
so
stuff's
when you
Yeah.
said that your iPhone finally like gave in, like I picture you having like the first iPhone ever made. Like, was it a newer one or was it a really old
No.
iPhone?
It's not the first one ever made. It's the iPhone 6S Plus.
Yeah, it's
I
only
gotcha.
from 23 years ago.
Shut your face, Quentin McGee. So yeah, it's a little sad, but I mean, it is all of its old tech that died. And then on top of that, my headphones, one of my headphones that I use, they both went out, so they don't work. I threw them in the trash earlier. Sad day.
The house lashing back out at you for
It
getting out of
really
there.
is. It's like getting angry at me for leaving.
It is upset.
Yep. So life's been a little rough in the tech side of things. On the gaming front, all's pretty well. Been playing Rocket League, of course, having fun, ranking up. I think I currently have gold in doubles and then silver in both threes and duels. I tell you what, Ronnie, I can't remember if you've done duels before, but 1v1
Just a one-on-one.
most
That's the worst game ever.
stressful thing in the world, and I
I don't even
can't-
like playing it.
I don't, but I do. Like, I want to conquer it, and but it also it's the only time I feel like a kid again playing Mario and like jumping up in the air and running around my living room trying to not.
If you go for like a
get
ball
scored
and the
on.
other person's also going for the ball, like whoever wins is getting a goal. Like that's
Oh man,
it's,
we had a few.
once it's past the other person.
I had a few matches where literally our cars, like at the beginning of the match where you both go at the ball, like
Yeah.
we literally were like driving on top of the ball, pushing it towards each other, and then one of us would like fall to the side, and then the other would just run it right into the goal.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I actually don't think I'm even ranked in threes yet. I haven't
No.
got a ranking in.
We need to rectify that. Let's get.
We
to
should
it.
not play doubles though, because I am ranked plat 2 now.
Yep, definitely not doing doubles with you. Let me get
We
at
will-
least a gold 3.
I only play doubles with Eric now because I'm in plat
Yeah,
2 and
that's-
I'm not about to go there by myself.
Nope. I feel you on that. Besides that, I got back into Final Fantasy VII Remake, in part because that is our GMG VG BC game of the month, or at least for the next couple months.
And that is a lot.
Yep, it is.
It
There's
always
actually,
is.
yeah, there's actually more when we do a spoiler cast because this is GMG VG. What is it? BC
BCSC.
SC. Yeah, thank you.
If you have to think about it, it's not worth it.
It's
Nope,
too
that's
much.
not true. You have to think about a lot of things,
Not
and
like
they're
that.
worth it.
Not like that. You don't.
Got to think about your face sometimes.
Not
I
really.
don't want to. It's worth it. Yeah, I do.
That's not my problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be. So yeah, playing Final Fantasy VII a remake. Man, that game's so good, but it stresses me out because I got like, I want to say like 4/5 of the way, 80% of the way through the game, if not 90% of the way on hard, and then I just got distracted by other things, and I'm coming back because I want to get the platinum, and shaking that rust
Ooh.
off on hard difficulty is not easy.
Mm.
And
Remember those controls and everything when you come
Oh,
back
yeah.
to it? Oh,
I want to say the first hour, I just sat there like trying to figure out what materia to use, and then I would put something in and then take it out, and then by the time I like got to a boss fight, I fought him and I beat him fine. It wasn't really that hard. I found that the 2 bosses I've beaten so far, the setup has taken longer than the actual battle, and like it's all mental. I think it's because of God of War. Like when I played God of War and struggled so much with that Valkyrie, and I know it's because I like returned to the game after not playing it for such a long time. I've like kind of psyched myself out. I just need to go in there. Like you don't lose anything by dying, and you just fail and you go back to the checkpoint and start again. So I need to just get over it and just do it. But yeah, so that's been fun. And then getting to experience a little bit of it with Chris as he's been playing through his very first session playing I got on Twitch and kind of coached him through some stuff because he was kind of struggling at first. Because especially for those that have played the game before, when you play it, the new one for the first time, it's really hard to get your mind around the active battle system. Because in the past it was turn-based, and you could just rely on your normal attacks. And in the new one, you really just use the normal attacks to build up your ability and build up your combos so that you can do bigger hits and use magic and all that stuff. So he got onto it pretty quick once he got through the first boss, but it was really fun to just experience it with him. And I've been talking with him pretty much every day about it to see what's been going on, where he's at, how much he's loving it. So it's going to be really fun when he finishes it, and we can do a little spoiler cast here in a month or two. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's been life. I have to say that Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of the best remakes out there in the history of remakes. But you know what? I think there could be other remakes that could maybe be even better. And we need to talk about those remakes.
Let's talk about them.
Night. Right now. That's right, folks. We are talking about our top 5 video game remake wish list. The games we want to see Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Atari, Sega, someone out there to remake these games. They owe it to the fans, the lovers of video games.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of feedback from the joiners. So I think it would be appropriate to do a few joiner suggestions and top 5s, and then we could just randomly choose who wants to do the next top 5, of course, with honorable mentions. I know Patrick and I have at least a dozen honorable mentions, so we better get into it before we run out of time.
We should just stop saying top 5. Just it's any.
I'm pretty sure
top.
You're the one who said top 5, so
I did say top 5.
It's your fault.
But
so
I
top
said
74.
Yeah, I said top 5. But then there's always honorable mentions are just fair. It's fair game.
It is. All right. So we're going to start with the old Discord. Umar Whittle said Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon was great. Granted, it was also the first time the game came to the US, but still a good remake. So I can't tell. I don't know much about Fire Emblem, so I don't know if Umar is talking about a remake that already happened or if he wants it to be remade. Anyone? Bueller?
I do not know for sure.
I'm not hip to the Fire Emblems.
Yep.
All right. Umar, we're sorry.
Not my scene.
Mr. Whittle, we apologize for knowing nothing, but we appreciate you and your contribution.
We know nothing.
I blame Ronnie, but I can't right now. All right. Delvin, the king of nothing. He stole mine. I'd love a Metal Gear Nintendo and a Metal Gear Solid remake. Yes, please. And
yes.
That's
Lots
a
of people
no-brainer.
clamoring for that.
Yeah, it's
Konami,
been way too long. Like, is there like something with Kojima and PlayStation? Like, is there some sort of licensing or contract that they can't do
think
it?
Because Konami and Kojima parted ways, I do think there's a little bit of... I don't think there's legally anything wrong. Like, I think Konami can do whatever they want. I'm pretty sure they own the IP, but there's some kind of honor system, like complicatedness behind closed doors that I think is kind of tripping this up.
I don't know. That's just a disservice to everybody in the world.
It really is.
Because
Can you
of
imagine
someone's small little fight.
Yeah. Can you imagine Metal Gear Solid in like a updated to like Metal Gear Solid 5, like with open world mechanics and just everything about it?
It sounds so amazing.
It would be amazing.
No, and not only Metal Gear Solid 1, but 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Just do the whole trilogy. You don't need to do 4 or 5. Those are fine.
Those are
1, 2, and 3. Just they get those updated graphics.
The trilogy.
That'd
be sweet.
They did.
But I would really love. I'd really love the Nintendo ones, Metal Gear 1 and 2. I've never actually played those. I would love to see those modernized and to get the stories of like the original encounter between Big Boss and Solid Snake and just all that. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I think that was my number 1 through 3 is that trilogy right there.
Oh, nice. No wonder you had so many. Your first 3 were a trilogy.
Yeah, I know. I still have another trilogy on there, but still, Metal Gear, bring it to the new age.
No, you didn't say that right. Do it again.
Metal Gear.
There we go. Metal Gear.
It's such a good game, and I don't know if you played it. It's very rough. The controls are really bad. I mean, like that was back in the day before there were twin sticks. You just had like a directional pad.
Solid on PS1.
Yes. Yeah. It was. Yeah, and it just that like top down. If they could throw it over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I feel like it would move that game, even though it was a 10 out of 10 then. It would then continue to be a 10 out of 10 now. It's like
11 out of 10.
Like what they did with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. And those games were like, if you look at top 10 lists, or top 100 lists of all time, Resident Evil 2 and 3 are on there. And when they remade them, they are amazing because they did them right. And if they do the same thing with Metal Gear, I sincerely believe it's going to continue to be one of the greatest games of all time. They just need to figure out, Konami and Kojima need to figure it out.
They need to make peace and then get the Metal Gear love out there, because that would be glorious.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Bagheera said, not in any particular order themselves, but on the top 5, Prince of Persia, Sands of Time.
Which they're kind of doing.
They announced the remake, and then it was like, ooh, that does not look like a remake. And they're like, we're gonna put this on hold and delay this indefinitely because this looks bad.
I guess it's more of a remaster than a remake, but
yeah. I mean, even the remaster, it looked like what did Prince of Persia that came out on PS1? Mm-hmm. The remaster that they were gonna come out with looked like PS2. It's like, what? We're on PS5 now, guys.
Yeah. We need to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah, bring it to the new age.
Yep. Metal Slug.
Metal Slug.
That does not roll off the tongue.
It's not meant to be said that way.
I guess not. Still gonna try. Crash Bandicoot Titans. Guitar Hero 3, please.
Whoa. Crash Bandicoot Titans? What's that?
That's I think that's a Wii game. I'm pretty sure.
It's not an RPG. That up.
I'm pretty sure that's a Wii game after Activision bought the rights to Crash Bandicoot. I actually haven't played it, but I remember seeing box art for it.
I remember seeing box art for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Back when box art was a big deal. Now it's not really.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then there's Guitar Hero 3, please. And then Modern Warfare 3, which I think Modern Warfare 3 already got a remaster of sorts.
I think they've only done 1 and 2.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Fair enough.
Okay.
Bagheera also had an honorable mention of Captain America's Super Soldier. He thought it would do really well remastered today. Kind of a throwaway from last gen. I know that's a game that has an easy platinum. I would love to get it.
Was the Captain America Super Soldier, was that the beat 'em up? What was
I thought it was PS3? a third person behind the back game, like Wolverine or
maybe I'm thinking of the Captain America and Thor and
I'm pretty sure it's based off the movie
or Green Lantern games.
Yeah, no, I think this one was based off the movie, like with Chris Evans.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it was an easy platinum game from what I remember, but you can only get it physically, and it's really hard to get and find at a fair price. So, c'est la vie. So that covers a few of the joiners' remake desires. Who would like to share their top 5 of in our group?
I'm gonna go for my next 3 right here. I want to see a Mortal Kombat trilogy, like 1, 2, and 3 remaster. Now, I want to see like what I loved about the Mortal Kombat games. It looked real because they had like the photorealistic fighters. You know, nowadays they got like the 3D fighters and it's all like CG and everything. Like let's get real actors into a studio and get them in there and just redo it. I would love to see that. Like it would just be like a backwards way of doing a remaster, but it would be I feel like it'd be a true remaster or remake of them, because they haven't done that, and I just don't know why they haven't done it. They continue on with these. I mean, the Mortal Kombat games now are good. The most recent one, Mortal Kombat 11, was really, really good. But I wish they could just remake those first 3 games, because I loved those games so much growing up.
See the preview for the new movie coming out? The new Mortal Kombat movie?
Is it this week? Friday.
This Friday.
Other than giving away the farm, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it does look pretty solid.
Yeah. I can't wait for that one.
Do you have 2 more games?
Oh, shoot. Do you want to go more? Okay. Let's see.
Just share all yours.
All of them?
He said he has
all
like 155.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that was the first half of my first one. Max Payne.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
That was like the first
trip
for the first venture into bullet time, the slow motion bullet time. I love the story from that. The graphics are terrible. They're really, really bad, and I would love to see them up-res that or remake that into something like a la the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remake.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I remember playing that with my cousin and getting stuck. I think we played it like through most of the night, and then it was like 2 a.m. And 2-3 o'clock in the morning, once a game wants you to do something like really intricate or complicated, you just can't do it. And there was a point where it wanted me to jump on a train at a certain angle, and I had to die like for 30 minutes, like just jumping over and over again. And then we're just like, what? Let's go to bed.
And that's the PS1 for you.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, I mean, do you ever play Tomb Raider for a PS1? Yeah. It's horrible. The controls are horrible. And
so much neck breaking.
Update the control scheme and the graphics, and you got a winner right there.
Yep.
The next one I have is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, baby. That's on my list too.
Remove the turn-based style gameplay mechanics and make it free roam, just like they did with Final Fantasy VII, where it's not just turn-based anymore. It's actually, it's more of an action beat 'em up adventure style game.
Like they can make it just like Fallen Order. I feel like that style of fighting, that would be better for me.
Yeah, have that same style basically. But
I would be all right if they do a mix of that, like to where just like with Final Fantasy VII, you can play it like Fallen Order and do just action, or you can like freeze time and make a decision of like what your character partner AIs are going to do, or like plan out your moves. Like I like when they give you the flexibility.
I agree. I think if they marry the two of those kind of gameplay mechanics, I think it's Star Wars Knights of the Republic. That is a great story alone. Aside from the gameplay, you add a good gameplay mechanic to it, and I feel like that would just be like a Bang Busters, 10 out of 10 type of game. The way they're doing with like the Mass Effect remaster or the remasters that they're coming out with next month.
I feel like that game was way ahead of its time. Like it just
it was.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. Like it was
like 600 pages or something like that of dialogue, and no game had ever done that before. Yep. And that was on the OG Xbox. Like how in the world did that happen?
The old Duke.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have others. Should I continue on, or should we come back to me before I take other people?
Let's see what others had to say, and then we'll come back to you. Haas on the Discord said, I want to see a Chrono Trigger remade in the style of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's a good call.
Assassin's Creed 1, Secret of Mana in Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think we should just make all remakes in the Final Fantasy VII Remake style. Just a suggestion. Contra, and then Medal of Honor. My ears perked up with Contra. I'm 100% with you, Haas. I not only want Contra as a remake, but I want it to have that same level-to-level genre switch. Like sometimes it's side-scroller, sometimes it's, from behind. I think they should do like first-person sometimes. I I don't know, like do a rhythm game level where you're like doing rhythm games against the aliens, and if you win, you shoot them in the face. Like, I don't know. There's all kinds of ways you can go with this.
And
But,
I think a remaster or a remake for Contra, I think they can like get that one out quick.
yeah, and do online multiplayer.
Online
Like,
co-op. It doesn't
like
need
do
to
it
be...
like Broforce.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome. You could just jump in and just blow up aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
There you go.
fantastic.
I like it.
Yeah, let's do it right here, right now. Barnaby El Ronchas Butters, Chrono Trigger, also Dig Dug. That's a deep cut right
Okay.
there. Another deep cut. Adventure.
Adventure.
Then Terra Enigma. I don't know that one.
Never
but
heard of that one.
No.
Sure, why not? And then Contra 3, The Alien Wars,
Ooh,
a
another
Super
Contra.
Nintendo classic. That's one of my
Okay.
favorites. Definitely. I'd be all about that. And then the last one that I'll read is from Ryan the Backlog Bandit Straubby. He said, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 also, just like we heard earlier. Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay.
One of the lesser, I think the overshadowed by Mario Kart 64
Yeah.
racers. That was pretty
That's
good.
fair.
Wave Race 64. And then
Oh,
that would be a fun one. And then GoldenEye 007. Full disclosure, I've never played it, he said.
Oh.
What a crime.
so see, GoldenEye 007 is like a nostalgia thing, and I think it is only to really appreciate that you had to have a Nintendo 64 back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, if we had a remaster of that, I think there was, now to be honest, I think there were two like remakes or reimaginings of
yeah, one was on
GoldenEye.
Wii.
It was like GoldenEye or GoldenEye Reloaded, and then 007 Legends.
Yeah.
For the PS3, Xbox 360 era.
And Wii. Don't forget the Wii now.
And no. I think the Wii was, didn't it had move or motion controls, didn't
It
they?
did. Oh yeah, I played it.
Yeah. So, and I think the PS3 like had modes where you could use the PS Move controllers, but you could also play with a regular controller. But it's like that 4-player split screen. I don't know if it would hold up now.
Just be like a crappy shooter now.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
If
I can see
done
that.
right, though.
Now, if we're
Is the
talking
thing.
about a party game, Fusion Frenzy should be remade.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on the.
Still free on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you on the GoldenEye remake. I think if done right, and the other versions of GoldenEye that they've kind of remade have not been the same. Like I know they replaced, like I know the one they came out with, the GoldenEye Reloaded or whatever. They replaced Pierce Brosnan with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I just think they need to have the OG cast. Put Pierce Brosnan back in there. I think if you get enough of the jank out of there, I think it would be good. But because full disclosure, that's on my list.
I think it would be good from like a nostalgia standpoint, but if somebody, for example, like had never played it back in the day, like when it was first new, and then went to play it after it was like remastered, I think they would not be impressed. You know what I mean?
And I don't
Like,
think
it has a
that-
lot.
Yeah, I don't think that James Bond holds much weight as it used to. Like Bond in
I
the
agree with that.
60s and
It was more popular for sure back then.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I still think if done right, they could make it work. And if maybe they don't go 100% with like the 4-player split screen, maybe it's an online thing. And
Online
I think they
battle
could,
royale.
and I think if they differentiate it enough to where it has those classic Bond weapons like the Golden Gun and the Moonraker laser and all those kind of things, I think that's what would kind of set it apart from it being just a boring old shooter. But again, it would have to be done right, and I think they need to have the OG cast. I get where they were going with replacing it with Daniel Craig to modernize it, but yeah. So yeah, it's on my list.
There you go.
Ryan
I
said
think-
that there needs to be a 007 remake, and I said online battle royale, which is not what he is into. So
At
it's
all.
like he's like, never mind, we don't need a remake.
Take it back. All right, Mark. Well, since you came to 007's defense, what other games would you like to come to the defense to for remakes?
Okay, so Absolute, and this is a surprise to no one. Number one.
My Little Riding Champion.
Which Batman game is this?
It's not. It's not. Actually, there is no Batman game on this list.
It is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
That is correct.
Oh,
Hey-oh.
That is the number one.
yeah.
The number one, because after just playing through it a month ago,
It needs a
You
remake.
need a remake.
it needs a remake. There are things I absolutely still love about it, but man, the controls need to be touched up big time. I didn't play the 3DS version of it, so I don't know if they improved that at all. They actually did kind of a remaster of it on the 3DS, and it looks cleaner for sure in terms of graphics. But yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That they made it look better on the 3DS.
yeah, it looks a lot cleaner. Not the characters and all the assets and stuff. They don't look as jagged and polygonal. They actually look pretty clean. But yeah, I haven't actually played it, so I have to see if they improve the controls at all. But yeah, I think if you just did a ground up, like they did with again Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know, obviously stay true to the story and a lot of the elements, but just ground up. And there are so many. If you look online on like YouTube and stuff like that, where they like have recreated certain scenes from Ocarina of Time in like Unreal Engine 4 or whatever, it looks incredible. And I was like, give me that, please.
I love when they do those like fan made remakes in Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
It's like, I want this so bad, but it's just like nothing never comes of it.
Yep.
So I hate it and love them at the same time.
It's like, why do you not hire this person? Please.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that's my number one for sure.
Nice.
The other one is another game that I played somewhat recently, and Nintendo has kind of just given up on this franchise. There was actually a sequel put out to it, which I guess did pretty well, but then they just kind of dropped it. But the original Star Tropics, I think would be something that they could pick back up and kind of remake.
Now I watched you play that. How would you remake that? Because that's like it looks like the original Zelda kind of top-down look to it.
It would be a kind of a newer Zelda / maybe a Tomb Raider kind of mashup kind of thing.
I'm listening.
Yeah. And obviously there's a lot of like it's all like tropical islands and stuff that you're going to. So you could even have some like I know like Uncharted and stuff like that. They've gone to some pretty exotic locations, haven't they? Yeah. So it'd look a lot like that. So I think they could make it work and have some, homages to the original game. There are some elements that are pretty silly. Like your main weapon is a yo-yo in the game. But I mean, you can make it work.
Yeah.
And it's Nintendo. So that's kind of expected of them to have those silly types of games. But I just think that's a franchise they kind of dropped hardcore, and I think they could pick that back up and do it.
Yeah, I see remake. If they keep that, if they do that, and then they do like the yo-yo as your weapon, I can see it looking like a Mario Galaxy kind of feel, kind of look to it, where it's like cartoony at the same time.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely be down for that. Obviously, Goldeneye mentioned that. One thing I was thinking about today, like I don't really talk about it a lot. The fact that like I had a Dreamcast, and I loved that console. I loved me some Sonic Adventure. I think that was a solid game for the Dreamcast, and unfortunately the Dreamcast was vastly overshadowed by the PS2, unfortunately, but there were a lot of good things about that console. And I think doing a Sonic Adventure remake would be awesome, because that game in and of itself was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and another kind of lesser known franchise that I want to say this was on Nintendo and Sony as well. Legacy of Kane Soul Reaver.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good one to revisit and remake, because I remember when I would play that on I want to say it was either the PS1 or maybe it was the Xbox. I can't remember. But
It was definitely on PS1.
Yeah.
I played the demo for that, like
Yeah.
for Soul Reaver and the second one, whatever it was called.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the art style of it and the gameplay and everything, and I think that would be really cool if they revisited that and kind of remade it, because there's, like I said, a lot of cool elements of it. So yeah, that is my top 5 list.
Sweet. All right. We got a few more from the old Twitter sphere. We got @YaDoneMessedUp. He said the Suikoden series, or Suikoden series as I used to call it back in the day. Good old Suikoden. I loved the first one. I have the second one on my Vita, and I've played like 5 or 6 hours of it. It's a really long JRPG, so I kind of abandoned it, but I definitely plan on going back. I love that game because you could recruit like over 100 characters and have like 6 characters in your party at the same time, and there was a lot of variety to their movesets and stuff, so that was pretty cool. He also mentioned Final Fantasy VIII, which is probably one of my least favorite Final Fantasies, but still a quality Final Fantasy. Armored Core series, Ocarina of Time, and Skyrim. I love me some Skyrim, and I would.
Skyrim was actually one of mine as well.
Oh, there we go. I would love to
Nice.
play a remastered.
Yeah, it would be. I feel like that game, like if you just just made it a little bit better, like it would be incredible.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be so fun. It would be crazy to sink another 100 hours or 300 hours into it, as I think I did back in the day.
I'd probably quit my
wouldn't
job.
put that much, yeah. But I would definitely play it again with the updates, and some of those games are definitely janky sometimes, and be awkward and comical when they're not trying to be comical. But man, that would be good stuff. Rafael Costa said, well, I didn't have much time to think about it, but here's my list. Uncharted 1. Definitely could
good pick.
use
Yeah.
an update. Chrono Trigger, Metal Gear Solid on the PS1.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a deep cut. Space Jam the game.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
say I ever played this one.
I didn't know they
Why
had a
not?
game.
They had a Space Jam game? Was
I
it a
gotta
side
look this
scroller?
up.
Hold on a second.
sure.
Were you Michael Jordan?
I mean, it's Space
In the
Jam
Windy
game,
City?
so I think so.
I hope that you had to build up to Michael Jordan. Like you started as like
Bill Murray.
he started as like he started as somebody crappy. He started as a little old lady.
The little old
Grandmama.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new one, Space Jam 2?
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good.
It looks okay.
I think it
it'll be
looks like
cool.
it's going to be solid.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good or okay. You know, I don't think it can really top the original Space Jam, but I think it's going to be a good popcorn flick.
It was on
Yeah.
the PS1 and the Sega Saturn.
Old Sega Saturn.
And what type of game is it?
It looks like it's just an actual basketball game, like a 2D side-scrolling basketball game, almost like an NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Type
Well, that's
thing.
what I was going to say.
Oh.
That's about the only thing that makes sense for that game is to make it like NBA Jam, where you just play different characters,
Yep.
choose your teams.
And it was on DOS.
Whoa.
Okay, that's not a name I've heard for a millennia. It's been a
I
while
haven't heard
since I
that
heard
name in a long time.
long time. Yeah, that I don't know. I think why not make it like NBA Jam and just have a bunch of Looney Tune and like tune version of NBA
from
basketball players
downtown.
and Bill Murray, of course. I mean, Bill Murray. I hope Bill Murray shows up in Space Jam 2. It's almost. I think he almost has to
That'd be great.
to make it real.
Mm-hmm.
Then Hoffa ended with Dragon Age 1. Haven't played that, but Dragon Age Inquisition was mighty fun. So that will be cool.
Nice.
All right, with that, Ronnie Johantis, what other games do you have?
Well, let me
share
get to
with
my massive list that I wrote down here.
Yep, huge list on a napkin. no
I started with 3, but ended with 4.
Uh-huh.
2 of them have been taken. Skyrim and Knights of the Old Republic, which we talked about.
Yeah.
The one of my other ones is Ark.
I knew you were going to say Ark. Get the jank out of that.
Of course it is. Like I realize like it's not like an incredibly old game, but it is as far as game, like the actual game is a piece of crap. But the idea of the game is awesome. Like just what it allows you to do is the coolest thing ever, but the game is kind of a clunker. So yeah, I would love to see that one redone to where, Patrick's not pooping 38 times in a row. And just ridiculous
I had a good
things.
time with that.
Just
the only thing I
ridiculous
remember out of
things.
that game. That and making all your dragons fly around on accident after you had nicely put them away.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this, but we had this huge cave, and we probably had like somewhere between 8 to 10 dragons that we had tamed, like inside, just kind of like sitting up on perches and stuff, like out of the way, nice and organized.
It was very organized.
Yeah, and like one of the game functions is you can whistle like to follow. You can whistle follow all or follow one. And Patrick comes in and he whistles follow all, and all of them take off. And it is a swarm of dragons.
For like the next 30 minutes, we're trying to put them back.
Just they're everywhere. Like that's like first thing, like when he got in, he's like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Oh no!" Like I'm just watching this. I'm like watching from a distance, like all these dragons. Like it looks like this nest. They're all flapping around. It took a little while.
Around, and the frame rate to the game goes down to like 10.
Oh yeah, we can barely move. There's so many dragons in there.
That's hilarious.
But no, I think if that game was improved, I think it could be really like something special. Like
yeah, they are coming out with Ark 2.
Yeah, but the fact that
he could bring it.
The fact that Vin Diesel's in the trailer makes me feel like it's going to be a piece of crap, though.
No, it sounds like they got a storyline on it.
And I don't know if we talked about this, but like you guys saw the trailer. Like the trailer looked not good.
It looked off.
It did not. Yeah, it looked really bizarre. And like I was like, I even told Eric, I was like, yeah, of course that's their trailer. Of course it is. Of course, Ark would have not even a good trailer.
You ever have you're playing like a PS2 game and the graphics are horrible, but then they go to the cutscene, it just looks like a PS2 like cutscene. That's what this trailer looked like. It was a PS2 cutscene.
It looked awful. Like I was like, man, you've got to be kidding me! All these other cool trailers to come out, and then Ark finally. Like, first of all, Vin Diesel's not my favorite actor. Like, Vin Diesel, I will say he's a great character, but Vin Diesel plays the same character. Like he is just Vin Diesel in every movie. So to have him in Ark,
I feel like the natural selection should have been The Rock.
I agree. I completely agree. Or Jason Momoa, somebody that looks like a caveman, basically.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But no, that didn't make me feel great. Like seeing the Ark 2 trailer, I was like, crap. Like we're just gonna jump from one piece of crap to another. And like I loved Ark so much, but like gameplay and like freezing and all kinds of stuff, like it was awful from that standpoint. I would probably still be playing it if it didn't have all those things. And then my last game is, I think I've talked about this on the show before. The game is called Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
It is an original Xbox game. And this game, it's like loosely tied to the movie. Like the storyline really isn't like from the movie or anything like that, but like within the world, like you see like the Black Pearl, like at some point, like, so there are things that like tie it to the actual movie series. But for the most part, the story wasn't really a part of that. But it was kind of a lot like Black Flag, actually. It was an open world pirate game, and it allowed you kind of just to do pretty much whatever you want. You could go on treasure hunts, you could go like plunder ships and stuff like that. The coolest thing about this game, and this is what I wish they would have done with Black Flag. Like, this is my literal like only complaint about Black Flag, is that it never allows you to change ships. You have your main like storyline ship, which in Black Flag it's called like the Jackdaw, I think, and you can upgrade that ship and make it better and all of those things. But in this game, in Pirates of the Caribbean, you could actually board a ship, take it, and then you could actually then become the captain of that ship. You basically switch ships. If it's a bigger ship that's more powerful, you could get in and take it. And you could continue to do that throughout the game, and you get these like big ships and stuff, which was really cool. In Black Flag, I really wish you could do that, but they don't allow you to ever move. In another factor was in Pirates of the Caribbean, the older game, you could actually hire officers with certain skill sets, and you could have them captain a ship that you take. So you could actually have like your own armada almost. And in Black Flag, they don't have that option as well. But that was one of the things that really like got me like hooked on that game. Is not only you take this massive ship, but then it's your ship, and you can rename them and all that kind of stuff. But the graphics were awful, and it was like a standard, like you get on the board and you have your sword, you have your block, and your attack. Like it's one block and one attack. Like that's it. Like
yeah.
So, but yeah, I wish they incorporated some of that into like a Black Flag type game. That's why I would love to see this one remade with like good graphics.
Did you ever play, Ronnie, Sea of Thieves? Because that's like a pirate simulator, isn't it?
I did. The first, I did actually download Sea of Thieves because I think the idea of it is really cool, like online multiplayer pirates. You know, it's all there. But when I downloaded it, I started to play it. It's a little cartoony for me. Like, you know, it makes it seem less serious, like more of a child's game. But I within the first 10 to 15 minutes like of free gameplay, so I went like through some tutorials. I had a guy shooting. I was like, I hadn't even got to my ship yet or found out what was even my ship or what I was supposed to do, and some dude was already like just firing cannonballs at me, like just I left and right. Like I didn't even know how to use like my stuff yet, and I was like, man, this is why I don't do these like things online.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I couldn't even get the game started, but I've heard that it was actually a really good game also.
Yeah. Gotcha.
However, I will never rejoin it.
I think like if you have that Pirates of the Caribbean game in like an over the shoulder third person like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order kind of look to it, I think it would be just amazing. Now I don't want it to be like a Black Flag, Assassin's Creed, you know, sneaking around. You want to be like a pirate.
Yeah, I actually would love for just like the pirate aspect of Black Flag instead of it. Obviously, it's an Assassin's Creed game, so it has all the standard Assassin's Creed things. But those are my least favorite parts of the game.
Yeah,
and it's not that I don't think Assassin's Creed games are good. Like I think they're pretty good, but I probably like they're just not really for me. You know, like I said, when I break into a place, I just start killing people right away and just battle them instead of sneaking around. So yeah, it's really the one thing that we're kind of missing in the video game world, if you think about it, is an open world pirate game. Like I'm talking like it would be awesome if they could just make like a GTA, but in that world as pirates. You know what I mean? Like how cool would that be?
I like it.
So yeah.
Get it out there. You never know. All right. Splig at Dopalicious, a few more joiners wanted to share their games. He shared on Twitter Vagrant Story, Team Fortress 2 or 3, Dead Space, Lemmings could be fun, and Dino Crisis, which I am all in for. Any dinosaur games, but Dino Crisis, which is like Resident Evil meets dinosaurs. Yeah.
Wasn't that like a rail shooter? Dino Crisis? No.
It's like Resident Evil 1. Like you have the tank controls and you run around and you have these little moments that happen where like dinosaurs bust through and you have to shoot them with your guns. And
Yeah, that's a rail shooter.
No, it's like Resident
I
Evil
don't
1.
think so.
Just straight up gives you a no.
Nope.
No, absolutely not.
Dino Crisis was made by Konami, same people who made Resident Evil. Or maybe it was Capcom. I think it was Capcom. And that is also on my list as one of my honorable mentions.
Nice.
How awesome would it be to have the remake and have just dinosaurs in newly PS5, Xbox Series X kind
That'd
of
be sweet.
look to it.
And then mix some arc mechanics where you can befriend them and like ride them,
Tame them,
and fight other dinosaurs. Come on now, that's a
Whoa,
no-brainer.
that's a DLC
No-brainer.
right there.
I'm in for anything with dinosaurs and pirates.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Oof.
That's those games are for me.
Speaking of dinosaurs, did you see that news story that the director for Fast and Furious 9 said that a Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover is not out of the realm of possibility?
Doesn't even make sense.
And that,
to
me,
not?
Sounds amazing.
I mean, I'd watch
that's
it.
Fast and Furious right there.
It's like a
Those
Resident
movies
Evil,
are out of control, dude.
It's like a Resident Evil Sesame Street crossover is not out of the realm of possibility.
I thought Fast and Furious going to space was jumping the shark. If they throw dinosaurs in there, oh my gosh.
All in.
I fell off of the Fast and the Furious movies like 7 movies ago.
Oh, you're missing out.
You're missing out big time.
I even know The Rock like comes into play and everything, but it's like, man, I cannot do this.
Oh, I know they're so dumb. That's why I love them.
That's what makes them
because
so
I know
good.
they're dumb.
That newest trailer, ridiculously fun. Like,
They're flying now in
Love
cars.
that.
Yeah, of course they are, dude. Of course
They
they
have jetpacks on the top of their cars.
so
They
much
can fly
happens.
now.
I'm pretty sure like Vin Diesel just like punches a car that's like flying at him and stops it from hitting him, like knocking him off or knocking him
Yeah,
over.
I mean,
Yeah, these are.
he's a superhuman being right there.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
Ken L at Kenneth DL said Chrono Trigger. Final
Dang, people
Fantasy
want Chrono Trigger. Goodness.
Chrono Trigger is a huge one, and I'm ashamed to say that I've not played more than like 5 minutes of it, so I know nothing and cannot contribute whatsoever to that. But the next one he mentions, I can Final Fantasy VI, definitely. I want to say top 3 Final Fantasy game. Like for
You
me
like Final
personally.
Fantasy games?
I do. I loved Final Fantasy VII. I went back and played Final Fantasy VI, but it was when I played it, it was before there was a lot of material available, easily accessible to help you. And I got stuck in a part where I was just like, I have no idea what to do, and I moved on. There were no trophies to get. There were no trophy guides, so I was like, sorry, no can do'sville, babyface. So I moved on from that one. But Final Fantasy VI is a good one. I would love to see a remake of that. Shining Force, Burnout 2 or 3, definitely, and F-Zero, which is pretty much floating racing game, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last one, Tim Pollen, aka Captain Bacon at T Pollen 20. His number one, Captain America Super Soldier, which was
another
mentioned.
super soldier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Infamous 1 and 2, hashtag Cole Lives.
Yes.
Good. Those definitely need remakes.
Yeah.
For sure. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. We definitely need more Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
Do
I'm
it.
down for that.
No doubt. And then the last one was Project Gotham Racing. Sorry, Tim, I can't join you in the racing games, but
Oh.
I hope they make it for you. For sure. All right. The last couple I had that were not covered, of course, Metal Gear Solid was on my list. KOTOR was on my list. And I added 2 to that also because I was like, I didn't really play 2, but you might as well just remake 1 and 2. Maybe I think this is what they really need to do. Remake 1, remake 2, and then make an original 3, like to continue the story and make it a KOTOR trilogy. That would be
I love the
amazing.
idea.
That'd be
Love
odd. And make it all connected like Mass Effect. So
And
that by
yeah.
3,
And it's BioWare. BioWare is just
Exactly.
making Mass Effect trilogy.
That would be
Just
amazing.
Do the same thing. KOTOR 1, 2, and then a new 3.
I mean, you can even trim out some of the fat of KOTOR 1. KOTOR 2, I'm sure there are parts that they don't really need, and then make the third one, like, kind of summarize everything that happened to build up to something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Darth Vader's grandpa or something.
It seems like it
some
seems
kind of
like the
connection there.
time to strike for this, by the way.
Yeah.
It
is.
seems like we should get this now.
Agreed. I also had Contra. So I had a few that were not mentioned. I want to see a Portal 1 remake. I don't know if you guys played Portal 1 or 2. Patrick, if we could play Portal 2 multiplayer, it's stuck on PS3 and it's broken, but it was such a fun co-op game. I played it with a couple friends. You could do split screen. But if they remade both of those and added the multiplayer to it, the puzzles in those were fun. The humor, hilarious. The villain in Portal 1 and 2, Gladys, is pretty much a sociopath of an AI robot that wants to kill everyone. She's hilarious, as much as it doesn't sound like it. She is a top 5 villain of video games of all time. I'd love a remake of that. Twisted Metal. I would love a Twisted Metal remake.
Forgot about Twisted Metal.
Yes.
You could do the story,
Those
of
are
course,
awesome.
but multiplayer would be so fun.
That was the battle royale before there were battle royals.
Yeah, dude, that was fun.
Wait, do you say battle royal?
Battle royale, sorry. Not a battle not a WWF battle royale.
Battle royal. The other one that I had written down, I want to Plants vs. Zombies, original, the original way remake.
Like the mobile app almost.
Yeah, like the mobile app, but beef it up for consoles. Do the whatever the defense tower defense, and I don't like this shooter stuff where you're playing as a plant with a gun and zombies running around shooting. I don't know. It's just kind of it's a little too silly. I need it to be Plants vs. Zombies, the original. I think that would be good. And then the last one I have is Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. I don't know if you guys played this one on Xbox 360. I think maybe it was on PS3 also.
Nope.
But it was starring Gollum. What's his name? Andy Serkis.
Yep.
He played the main protagonist, and it was like a dystopian future. It kind of reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn, set in big cities in the future that have been taken over by robots. And it's actually very much has a lot of excuse me, a lot of similarities to Horizon Zero Dawn and some of the mechanics and some of the things you do. That would be a really cool remake to check out. So
Nice.
Okay.
By the way,
Those
I just
some of
figured
mine.
out why I was
the On the Rails Dino game.
yeah. So I knew there was some sort of game. It was Crisis. That was a rail shooter.
Time
game.
Crisis?
Time Crisis? Yeah.
Remake that. I loved that game.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play that at the arcade or even on the
Oh, yeah.
consoles?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so good.
I'm pretty sure Ronnie and Marc played it at the arcade at Kings Island.
We probably did. Yeah. Yeah.
Shame on you for not telling me. I didn't see that game there. I would have played that and beaten it.
We weren't about to give it up anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Good call.
Uh-oh.
Did he freeze?
Oh
No, I was
Lucas.
just messing with
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Alrighty, boys and girls, that concludes our remake romp through the jungle. We are going to move on from here. I'm going to throw a little housekeeping at you real quick. Offering towels, fluffing pillows, Andy's candies, and all that jazz. No streaming right now from either Marc or myself. We're on hiatus. Marc needs a break, and I'm moving, and I need a break from life. But you can check out Chris the Rock early in the morning, Tim Pollen at night, Isaac Gallistic with the Infinity Bros. Who else? Help me. Who else is streaming? You can check them all out.
Ash is streaming now.
Asherly, yeah, check her out. She's streaming Days Gone right now. Not right this second, but recently she's been streaming that. There are lots of people to check out. So go to our Discord, check out who's who's streaming, and support him. It would be fantastic. Prime, Stupidly Epic. He's also streaming a lot. Please check those guys out, those guys and gals out. Support them. Show them some love, some GMG Joiner love. And besides that, probably here in about 2 weeks, here at the beginning of May, we will have our next Jackbox game night on the first Thursday of the month of May. So you can join us for that. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Stitcher, especially Podchaser, because Meals on Wheels, we've partnered with them and Podchaser, and for every rating and review you give, screen capture and send our way, 50 cents will be sent to give a kid a hot meal that they need so badly. So that will be happening. And then also connect with us on Discord and Twitter, where all the nerdy cool kids hang out. All the links are in the show notes. And give us a call if you want, 929-GMG Guys. Let your voice be heard. And speaking of what should be heard, Mark, anything you want to share with us about movies and facts? Maybe.
Yeah, so this week in movie history, apparently this week is very much Marvel week, because I know a bunch of their movies have come out like third week of April, third or fourth week of April, first week of May, all that kind of stuff. So all of the stuff that happened this week was mainly Marvel movies. Iron Man 3 premiered this week. And Avengers Endgame, as well as Infinity War. They both premiered this week. So, yeah, very much Marvel week. And happy birthday to, first off, David Tennant, who, if you're not familiar...
Who?
Hey! I get that.
I understood that reference.
I understood that reference, yes. So, obviously, he's a little bit more popular in the TV world, but he has been in movies, specifically one movie in particular. Uh-huh. He was Barty Crouch Jr. in Harry Potter movies. The guy that drank the polyjuice potion and turned into...
Spoilers.
Yeah. Come on, you've had time. You've had time.
I don't even think Patrick remembers who that is or what even you're talking about.
He was that guy in one of those movies that did a thing.
The guy that always had that little nervous tick with the kind of thing. You don't remember that?
Gross sound.
No, I do remember that. And my daughter and I still do that to this day because it was super weird.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the rest of the movie. It was just that like little lip smack.
The movie was called Harry Potter and the...
How do you write that out?
It's like THWPPTHW.
No, that's the sound Spider-Man's web makes. Flip.
All right, it's close.
But yeah, so happy birthday to David Tennant. His birthday was yesterday. And I believe later this week, Jack Nicholson. Happy birthday to him as well.
Jack Nicholson.
Mm-hmm. He's still alive? Dang.
Oh, yeah. How is he still alive?
He's
got to be 100, right?
But
he looks 150.
It's always looked 150.
He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
He's bad.
Yeah, he always has looked about 10 years older than what he normally is. But yeah, he's
at least.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's mostly retired. Well, very much retired from acting, I guess. So, but yeah, that is it.
Sweet. All right. Well, besides a little bit of Mark facts, we also are sharing our top 100 picks in the GMG MAFT 100 list to contribute. Each of us contribute 25. And here in, I think, a number of months, July 19th to be exact, on episode 150, we will unveil said list. But till then, we're still building it up. So Patrick and Ronnie, you both have to share 2 movies to catch up from last week. So lay it on us. What do you got to share today?
You want me to go first?
No, I'll go first. I'm going to jump on the Pirates of the Caribbean train that you were talking about earlier, and I'm going to say Pirates of the Caribbean.
You're all fired up about the pirates now that I've talked about it.
Yes.
That's exactly why I'm playing Black Flag.
Are you doing the OG like
the original
Yep.
Pirates of the Caribbean? That music
All right.
by
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Oh,
Curse of
so
the Black
good.
Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah, those movies are fantastic. I never watched like On Stranger Tides, by the way. Like, did you guys watch that? I heard it was garbage.
No, you don't need to watch it. The first one's about all you need to watch, really.
You don't like it, World's End? It gets a little crazy, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
All right. Well, are you going to say 2, Pat, or do you want me to go now?
Oh, no, I'll say the next one, and I'm going to say The Princess Bride.
As you wish.
As you wish.
Nice. You got a little pirate theme going there.
Well, I'm going to go stay on theme and go with the Gladiator.
The old jock strap.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, that movie, it was actually on TV I think
movie's
a
so
couple
good.
weeks ago, and I started watching it again. I was like, man, I forgot how good this movie was. That was like prime Russell Crowe also.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then my next one is going to be Step Brothers,
Nice.
one of my favorite comedies.
So many memes from that.
Yep.
Gifs.
Did we
That
just
movie is
become
so
best
stupid.
friends?
Yup.
Yeah. I think that movie is so funny, and Elizabeth is not into stupid humor, so she doesn't get it.
Pan? No, Pam.
Oh, there's two MN. Like calm.
Stupid.
Hand.
Man.
There's a D on the end.
All right, Mark, what do you got?
All right. So as I was sharing with you guys earlier, like I don't really have like a top 25 list. Like I only have a few movies that like I really like that stand out as my favorites. So I really had to start thinking about, okay, what movies have I really enjoyed over the past, several years.
Right.
And one that keeps popping out in my mind that I absolutely loved was the movie adaptation of Ready Player One.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Lucas?
All right. I am going to go down the animated route, as is tradition.
Yeah.
But I am going to go with a Marvel animated flick, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
How is that not on the list already? Goodness.
I don't know, but we got to start naming these Marvel movies. Because
I'm going to remove that. That was on
We got
my
like
list.
20. We got like 20 more real movies, I think, that don't include animated. We can add
Exactly. We just got to start naming them now.
19 if you go and throw the Hulk out now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw the Hulk out. Toss him out. All right. Yeah, Pat, Mark, Ronnie J, and along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.